start down into that dramatic first turn at Duffer's Dip, and alongside him Taylor Mackenzie gets a really good start as well. The two of them side by side, Suzuki and BMW. Oh no, someone's going in really deep, and that was Lee Jackson, an uncharacteristic error from Lee Jackson, and he bounces off at the FS3 Racing Kawasaki, and that's really not what you expect from the cool-headed Lincolnshireman. He got into a real tangle, out-braking himself up the inside, and someone else has gone down as well as they hit turn 3 at McIntyre's. And that's okay. That's, well, limping, bless him, but otherwise seems reasonably unharmed. And it's Jamie Tibble, number 18, who's gone down. Meanwhile, Taylor Mackenzie has taken the lead, and here comes Chrissy Rouse, luridly outbraking Richard Cooper, then having the back end of his Kawasaki step out as he comes up the hill from the hairpin, and that allows Cooper to get the superior drive on the Suzuki. They're elbow to elbow as they come over the hill. Rouse is going to try again into turn 1, and with those red boots, he's not to be denied, but there are still raindrops in the air, and that was... was that, oh, someone's gone across the gravel in the distance and rejoined. Neil, was that a leg wave of apology, do you think?
Yes, yeah, it was a fairly lengthy apology, and yeah, leg out a long way. Chrissy Rouse, the absolute master of aggression on the opening laps, and yeah, doing what he had to do, and a very, very fast manoeuvre on Richard Cooper, whose bike is fast on the start-finish straight, has been all weekend, but Chrissy Rouse doing the stuff on the brakes, and who's that loose roller down the inside of Andy Reid into the hairpin.
And you know that Reid isn't going to give way, and he doesn't. He cuts right across the front wheel of the Aprilia. So as they come leathering up the hill, then it's the Bingham's BMW leads it. Mackenzie, Rouse, Cooper, Reid, Rollo, Larty in 6th, then of Day, Hedger, Olsen, and Tom Neve 10th.
Replay of Lee Jackson in the middle of your picture now on the green bike, just backs it in there, got it all wrong, cuts across in front of Taylor Mackenzie. Fortunately didn't collect anyone on the way, but that FS3 pitching Lee Bob off that bike and then cartwheeling itself to a standstill.
I think I now realise why his mum, who I was talking to just half an hour ago, Neil, never watches the start, bless her. It's the one part of the race she can't look at.
Well, first corner, not good, and always tricky there. It's quite a fast entry, downhill off camber, and Andy Reid finding pace on that 2019 S1000RR. Finally got that bike going a little bit better, and his best showing of the season so far.
Yeah, by a long way. Neil, which is the line that you would prefer coming into that hairpin? There's a huge contrast of cutting up across the bumps, tight on the inside, of that big swoop from the left-hand side.
Furthest to the left is the smoothest part of the track, but obviously you've got to be on the inside if you want to pull any braking manoeuvres through there. But it's smoother on the outside, on the left side, than it is on the right side.
And everybody's perfectly happy at the moment, absolutely clipping across the curve onto the Brabham Straight. We can just about call it that, and then round Clark Curve. A completely blind right-hander, and then the huge swoop round Hizzies that carries them huge momentum up into that steep entry to the hairpin. Chrissy Rouse still there in 2nd place. In 3rd place, sorry, Cooper is 2nd. 3rd place, Reid, Rollo, Larty in 6th after qualifying well down the field. Emily Latte in 12th place.
Yeah, Coop's gathering himself together now, fastest lap of the race, 48.6, match Taylor's best last lap, so yeah, he's matching pace. 1.4 is the gap, so Coop's got a job on there, just has to try and get his rhythm going, try and chip away at Taylor Mackenzie, but Taylor, all the way through practice, very happy with his BMW and very happy with rear tyre life, very happy with everything really, and although Coop's had that little edge on the lap times, Taylor felt like he had a good race setup.
Number 34, Jordan Weaving, the unlucky South African, pulls the Jones-Dorling Racing Suzuki into the pit lane as we look at the two, the IN competition. Aprilia just ahead there of Alex Olsen. Olsen so smooth through the hairpin. Does it give him the drive that he wants? Coming up behind Australian Levi Day, looking to find a way through. Gets on the inside, neat as you like, and clips past that tiny Aprilia.
Yeah, the BMW having the legs really on the Aprilia on the straight. That Aprilia, a lovely little bike, got great electronics, a lovely little race bike, but lacks the ultimate horsepower of the Kawasaki's on the BMW. And you see Alex Olsen just having the advantage on the start-finish straight there.
Apparently the electronics are so good, Neil, that the lads who race the Aprilias can pretty much use them full on all the time.
It's amazing. You can pretty much sort of electronics out corner by corner, so you can have less power at one corner, you can have different traction control, you really can map the whole track into that bike, so this is a great challenge for Richard Cooper. He's got his head down. These guys pushing hard. Fast laps coming here. 10 under second, 9/10 of a second is the gap between Richard Cooper and Taylor Mackenzie. So managing to chip away there.
If we check back here, you can see there's the battle with number 7, Graham Irwin. He's in a three-way battle there with the much more experienced Tom Neve and number 2, Tom Ward. And there's number 7, the third of those Irish brothers. He actually is 27 years old. He's in between Glenn and Andrew, who were both with him on the grid to offer words of encouragement to their rookie brother. He's been squeezed back to 12th place behind the factory Honda, in effect, in red and white there of Tom Neve.
Tom Neve doing a good job on the Honda this week. He's really getting to grips with that. Arguably not maybe the choice of everyone for the stock 1000 class. The Honda getting a little bit tired. New model coming next year, but Tom Neve doing a good job. And of course with the official team now, so he has to bring it home. He was a bit leery at times in previous years, but doing a great job. And I love his helm. Bubba Schobert replica, one of my all-time favourite flat trackers, and as the Neves brothers are. And look at that helmet, just the best helmet.
So Tom Neve, and in the background you can see that Tim Neve is attacking Graham Irwin now. Graham Irwin must have made a mistake there, because Tim Neve now right with him on the Morello racing bike. Teammate, of course, to Chrissy Rouse, who's currently running in 3rd place.
Can't underestimate how well Graham Irwin is doing, coming from a motocross background to big, scary, over 200 mile an hour, 200 brake horsepower motorbikes. The difference in discipline is immense, but in a short space of time doing amazing things.
So Graham Irwin he managed to hold it and not get on the gravel, which was a pretty handy outcome, really, Neil, after you've outbraked yourself into turn 1. And look at the way that Koopman has come back now on Taylor Mackenzie. His last lap was a 48.69 against Taylor's 49 flat, so that gap now down to 0.244 and shrinking.
Yeah, strong lap times from both these guys, but Coop certainly seems to have the advantage. Looking for a pass here into the hairpin. Taylor in there quite hot, little judder from the front of the BMW, pulls it back, but Coops has got things covered at the moment, so
and that was by 0.05 of a second. Actually, is a new lap record for number 47. Richard Cooper eclipses that of Keith Farmer from last year, and Cooper thinks about it as we move into the 10th lap of 20, and then just holds station behind the more experienced of the 2 Mackenzie boys.
And both these bikes have got different advantage at different parts of the track. I'd say the Suzuki's a little bit more nimble. The BMW arguably faster, better on the faster flowing sections of the track, but Richard Cooper's bike, and the way he rides, he's got it set up to steer quite quickly.
Is that Graham Irwin? It has ended badly for the number 7, but what a great race for the first 10 laps of the race then. He was involved in that big scrap for 12th place with Tim Neve and Braden Elliott, but he's gone down and out. Here are the 2 leaders swooping up the hill. When you look at the Suzuki airborne as it comes across the crest, that must feel great as you come swooping over there, Neil.
Yeah, not so great for Taylor when it comes flying past, but the Suzuki on the top speeds this week has been stronger on the start-finish rate, and whether that's he's just got a nicer exit out the hairpin, but his start line top speed has been strong, and the strongest in this class all weekend.
And that's where Irwin went out. That's coming into the left, the right-hander at McIntyre's.
Tricky corner, good downhill off camber, so always a bit tricky and easy to tuck the front there, and I think that's what Graham did.
So just past half distance then, 10 laps completed. The 11th lap finishing now with number 47 Richard Cooper in the driver's seat, number 77 tailing him on the beautiful Batham's BMW, Taylor Mackenzie. And then that gap back to about 3.6 seconds to Chrissy Rouse. Rouse 2.2 seconds clear of Andy Reid. Both those guys having one of their best outings of the season. Certainly Andy Reid, who's struggled with the Tyco BMW until now. He's only half a second though ahead of Lewis Rollo from a place called Headington. Where's Headington then?
Haddington, it'll be Haddington with an A, which is just down the A1 a little bit, very close to East Fortune Airfield and race circuit. And a few racers come out there over the years because it's next to East Fortune, which Scottish club lads still use for racing. Brilliant little airfield racetrack. And we've got one of the old Concords is based there, so got some backmarkers, lap riders coming into play very quickly this weekend at Knockhill, so this is going to be interesting for the leading guys.
Here comes Andy Reid then, storming uphill on the number 67 Tyco BMW, right behind him, the iron competition Aprilia of Lewis Rollo. And then behind him, still making progress, is Luke Hedger in 6th. Ahead of Emily Lati, and then it's Alex Olsen, Levi Day, Tom Neve in 10th place.
And these lap riders, they can normally work for the guy that's leading, because you can pretty much time your pass so that you can get them between yourself and the guy that's chasing you. So it's always tricky, and especially passing. Not so easy passing around this Knockhill circuit. They'll be getting the blue flag, so they'll know that there's faster riders coming. So let's hope they do the right thing and get out of the way.
Braking hard into the hairpin, there's Andy Reid as we drop further, and this is the back markers coming into play then. The first one has been passed. The next one coming, I think, is number 93, Paul Westerdale on the Westerdale Racing Suzuki. And one rider does get through, Cooper does get through, but it's still, Taylor Mackenzie just hooked up as they go through the chicane then. Nothing he can do about that except get underneath him coming onto the Brabham Straight.
Yeah, Taylor can only hope that one of the back markers gets in the way, which is unlikely. 34 there, doing the right thing. Jordan Weaving, not like Jordan Weaving to be so far back. He's normally one of the front runners.
He's been into the pits on that Jones Darling Racing Suzuki. We saw him coming into the pits earlier, so obviously going back out to get some track time. He's going to have to spend his track time keeping out of the way, really, from here on in. We're on to the 15th lap of 20 then.
7/10 of a second is the gap between Coops and Taylor, so Coops has to keep things clean. Coops good through this sector of the racetrack.
Neither, that was it. The way he kind of, can I say, counter-steered coming over the crest of the hill and swapped from right to left. That was a beautiful shot of him dropping downhill. The front end had gone completely light. Yeah,
like I said, the bike's set up to be very nimble. Coops, you see it's on the move a little bit. I know Taylor's set up, he's got a really good, the new K-Tech shock Taylor's using now, it's unbelievable on tyre wear, and certainly he's going to have a good tyre at the end of the race. So whether Coops has something that's given him more grip early in the race, and that'll tail off towards the end, we'll have to wait and see. So
I think Taylor's really picked up some time on this lap as we cross just check them as they go across the line now, and that's a 48.7 against a 48.63. It may not be much, but there's a few milliseconds in there in Taylor Mackenzie's favour. Here comes number 67 Reid being attacked now by Luke Hedger, and Hedger gets on the inside of the Tyco BMW. Lewis Rollo shadowing them as they drop downhill, right, left, right again. Shaggy Byrne was telling me that one of the reasons this track suits Kawasaki's quite well is because it's a very snappy place. There aren't any big hanging turns. It's just they stop well and they accelerate well. And here's an example from the Kawasaki going through. Whoa! And the back marker getting levered aside.
That's right. Yeah, the Kawasaki's tradition, they've always gone well around here in every class, stock 1000 and Superbike. Unfortunately, Lee Jackson went down. I think he'd have been the strongest Kawasaki this
Yes,
weekend.
he would. Yeah. Just as his teammate is so far, of course, in the British Superbike class. So storming uphill now onto lap 17 of 20, and every position far from sorted here. The gap between Cooper and Mackenzie at 1.6 of a second.
Interesting. Taylor, fastest lap of his race on that last lap. So providing he's got a clear track, he might be able to make some inroads into Coops, and he's matching Coops' sector time. He just needs to got time if he can get a couple of tenths a sector, but we'll have to wait and see.
The hunched figure of number 8, Lewis Rollo, very aggressive rider, trying to get the better now of Andy Reid. Not exactly known for being shy on track, but what Reid knows is he needs results.
He needs to bring results. He's been down the road a lot this year. Lewis Rollo, not shy either, and he's only got one mode, and that's absolutely ride the wheels off whatever he's on. And he said, I don't care, I'm not in line to win the championship, so I'm just going to give it my all and see what happens. So, and that's exactly what he's doing, and he's got Andy Reid in his sights there.
Good ride by Luke Hedger, of course, a late comer there on bike number 12 into the championship with Morello Racing, and the former, with CPD Racing, sorry, and their former Moto 3 champ. So the young man from Somersetshire then, if that's a Somerset, I think he's gone.
Big dig for Taylor. Taylor's a lot closer now.
Yeah, that was a
big
now
dig.
Then, this is Taylor Mackenzie as the boards come out there to let these lads know. I don't think they need to know right now. Onto the 19th lap of 20 then, the penultimate lap. Taylor Mackenzie losing out really on that long drag uphill from the hairpin.
Yeah, he had an unbelievable sector too there. It actually took 4 tenths out of Cooper, but seemed to to lose it all on the... Yeah, he lost it all in the last sector. Got a bit excited, Jack. He's pushing hard.
Cooper and Penzi, Chrissy Rouse, it'd be relieved really to settle for that third place and really get some proper points on the board, because things have not been going the Geordie boys' way really so far. Only 3-point scoring rides, down in 11th place in the championship.
I think what's happening here, Taylor can see that he can catch him. He's pushing hard and sometimes losing a bit more than he gains. Only one lap to go, and Coops really is in control. Well, Taylor putting some impressive sectors in, but Coops looking like he's got things under control.
And that was a new lap record for Cooper, 48.323 on that lap. Look at the way he's riding.
He's responded, which is very impressive.
Remember, this is a lad that had 12 top 10 finishes in British Superbikes last season, and actually finished 12th in the championship and won the very last race of the season at Brands Hatch. At the same time as Taylor was come late in the championship and won the last Superstock 1000 race at Brands.
Well, Taylor actually matched his lap record on that last lap, but just a few hundredths out. So fair play to both these guys. They're pushing things to the limit.
Taylor keeping the pressure on right till the end, but it's going to be another victory for number 47, Richard Cooper. Build-based Suzuki takes the win at Knockhill, the first of the National 1000 Superstock races, ahead of number 77, long-time leader Taylor Mackenzie. Third place for Chrissy Rouse on the Morello Racing Kawasaki. Fourth place for Luke Hedger. Fifth for Lewis Rollo, who does dispatch Andy Reid on that final lap, with Emily Larty hanging on in front of Alex Olsen. Tom Neve and the Honda finish in 9th place. Namesake Tom Ward finishes 10th. And twin brother Tim Neve in 11th place. But the victory really then for number 47, it is another victory for Richard Cooper and an extension of that 38.5, I beg your pardon, 38.5 point gap at the top of the table. So this fellow says he keeps himself young at the age of 36 by the fact that his training partners all the time are Lee Jackson and Kyle Ride, who are appreciably younger lads in their very early 20s.
Yeah, 10 years older than Taylor, which I never realised. And you see them side by side, you never think Coops is ever youthful.
Yeah, he is. He's a complete, looks like a schoolboy.
I must get a pint of what he drinks at night. Obviously, he's working.
So then, Richard Cooper takes victory. This, of course, the 20-lap opener to the Stock 1000 weekend. Taylor Mackenzie in 2nd place. Chrissy Rouse, what they declare in press releases, a solid 3rd for Morello Racing Kawasaki, ahead of Hedger, Rollo, Reid, Larty, Olsen, Tom Neve and Tom Ward. And behind them, 11th place for Tim Neve, the second of the Lincolnshire twins. Ahead of Ben Godfrey, Braden Elliott, George Stanley gets 2 points and Joe Collier 1. So the championship sees an extension to that lead of Richard Cooper's to 43.5 points over Taylor Mackenzie on the Batham's BMW. Alex Olsen is there in 3rd place. Lee Jackson, of course, stuck on 99 points after that early accident, ahead of Rollo, Emily Larty in 6th. Chrissy Rouse has moved into the top 10. Behind him, Tom Ward, and finally, with a few decent points on the board, 12th place for Tyco BMW and Andy Reid. Okay. Do you do highlights to this one? Okay.
Our range includes core protection items such as air